Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
How's everybody feeling today?
Shalom.
You enjoying the happiness?
Kind.
That's what I
The
like
day
to
that
hear.
the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad indeed.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Thank you for joining us. We're here located in Houston, 8524 South Braeswood, Houston, Texas, 77071. Our class days are Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Monday and Wednesdays from 7 to 10 p.m. Fridays from 6 to 6 to 9 p.m. and Saturday Sabbath morning classes from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. All right, if you're in the Houston metropolitan area, please feel free to drop on by. All right, and we also have classes in San Antonio. All right, San Antonio. The address for out there is 4219 Centergate Street. All right, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. All right, and also we have classes. Mashaba, Priest Mashaba, he's teaching class out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So if you're out there, open it up. You know what I mean? Yeah, Albuquerque. So the address out there is 501 Copper Avenue, Northwest, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87102. All right, and if you need to get a hold of him, if you're out there, if you need to get a hold of him, you could do so at let me get his number for you. It is just 1 second, bear with me. It's what is it? 210 210 784 8463. 210 784 8463. All right. As far as Houston, if you have any questions, you can contact Priest Kazakia at 321-960-8411 or Priest Ahawam at 832-941-2443. All right. What we're going to do, we're going to open it up, start it off with questions. All right. Give everybody a chance to log in, like, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? All that good jazz. A couple of announcements that we got going on. As you know, Hanukkah's coming up. Khan. Excited for Hanukkah? Khan. Yeah. So we got the good festivities that we are going to be partaking in Hanukkah, right? And that's going to start on December 24th all the way to January 1st. All right? December 24th all the way to January 1st. If you're in Houston, please hit us up, contact us, get with us in class so you can partake of that. All right, this is one of the high holy days that Israel was congregated together and we celebrate. All right, this was a good time. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and see if we have any questions so far. We have any questions online, sis? No? Live? All right. What about in here? Yeah, you have a question?
I feel like I'm
Isaiah chapter 29
13.
and verse 13. Isaiah chapter 30. You said 39? 29. 29 and verse 13. So the sister has a question on Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 13. Go ahead.
Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
Okay. So what's your question? On the whole verse?
I kind of feel like that's me, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm going to study on my lunch break, but I end up doing something else. Or when I get home, I'm like, oh, I'm studying, but I go to sleep. So I'm like, how do I make myself not be Isaiah 29:13, but turn myself into 6
2 Timothy 3 and 16. So the question the sister's asking, you grabbing that for me? Okay. So basically you're asking from a perspective of honoring, instead of honoring the Most High with your lips, but your heart being far from Him. You don't want to be like that. Instead, you want to be like, you got it?
Wow.
What scripture did you say, sis?
2 Timothy 3:16. I'm sorry,
You mean
2 Timothy
2:16?
3:16.
You mean study to show thyself approved, right?
First,
Oh, no, the second Timothy.
Second Timothy, all inspiration. Oh,
16.
Second Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16.
Okay. Okay, what?
All scripture is given by inspiration of God
Okay, so all scripture is given. Okay, go ahead.
and is profitable for doctrine,
Uh-huh.
for reproof,
Right.
for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
See, this scripture right here is talking about what the scriptures is good for. The benefit and the profit of what the scriptures is used for. Right? Read it again.
All scriptures is given by inspiration of the Most High
Okay, continue.
and is profitable for doctrine.
So the understanding of and studying of the scriptures is it says it's profitable for doctrine. It's gonna teach you things you didn't know. All right? It's gonna give you understanding. You're gonna study and you're gonna get understanding and clarity in certain aspects of your life by following what the scriptures say. Right? Read.
God. And is profitable for doctrine, for reproof,
For the reproof is gonna be you're gonna see and read through the stories and read through the precepts and understand what to do and what not to do in every circumstance in your life. You see that? Continue.
for correction.
For correction, the things that you've been getting wrong in your life, the things that are broken, right? These scriptures are going to show you the understanding of why it's broken and what you need to do to fix that. Right? Go ahead.
For instruction in righteousness.
You want to do right, and this is the path, and this is the book that's going to show you how to do those things. Now to stay on that, right? Now to stay on that, let me get this scripture. Give me Matthew chapter 6 and 21.
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 21.
Uh-huh.
You say comment if you have it. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
No, what do you value? It's saying, read it again.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Your treasure is something valuable, something you hold detrimental and dear to you, right? Like your daughter, right? Exactly. She's a treasure to you, right? This word has to be that type of treasure to you. You understand? That's where you're gonna start not honoring the Most High with just your mouth, but now your actions are gonna be into it. Why? Because this is your value. You see that? He said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That's where your mind is gonna be fixated. You understand? So, like, if you're thinking about getting a brand new car, then what's your actions gonna show? Working towards getting that brand new car, right? If all day you're meditating on getting some alcohol, right? And at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go get some alcohol and get bliss, right? Why? Because that's what was on your mind. So that the scriptures has to work the same way, but more, right? You want to get understanding, so you got to read upon precept, line upon line, right? Every day we give the number. Every class day we give the numbers of the priest to call, right? So on your free time, you know what? I was reading this. Hey, shalom, sir. I was reading this precept, and I was trying to get some understanding on this. Same way you're the same way you ask questions in class, right? It doesn't have to just be for class, right? Me and this brother, I see this brother all the time, and he doesn't just ask questions in class. He asks it every single day. Every moment we're around, you know what? It's funny, I was reading this, and I was wondering, what does this mean? Well, what does this precept mean, right? Well, where do I go to do this? Or how do I learn about this in the scriptures, right? Because that's where his treasure is, right? You want to move past a novice, right? A novice is a beginner, right? A person who gets stronger and becomes an expert is a person who studies. Give me that.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15.
See, now we're going back to 2 Timothy, right? So 2 Timothy chapter 2. All right. Give me a comment when you got it. You got it, sis?
2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15.
All right, they got it. Go ahead.
Study to show thyself approved.
See, what you're doing, because this is valuable to you, you're trying to study to show yourself approved, right? But are you doing it for the sole fact of a good entertainment? No, you're trying to do it what? Read.
Unto the Most High.
You're trying to study to show yourself approved to the Most High. Why you should have that crown, right? Once we learn that we're Hebrew Israelites and that the world belongs to us when Christ returns and sets back the authority in the proper place, right? You want to study to show yourself approved of being in that righteous way, in that same fashion as your big brother Christ. You see that? So in order to do that, though, in order to understand that this book is good, is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for teaching, right, in righteousness, you have to study to show yourself approved. You have to study to find these things out. That's what you got to do. But you're not doing it just for an incorruptible crown. You're doing it for a corruptible crown. I'm sorry. But you're doing it for an incorruptible crown. You see that? You're trying to store up treasures in heaven. You see that? So you're studying to show yourself approved unto the Most High. Read.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
This workman, why is he ashamed? Because he honors the Most High with his lips, but his heart is far from him. Why? Because he's not studying to show himself approved, studying to show himself approved and acceptable. You see that? But a workman who's always working, right? He's not ashamed. Why? Read.
Rightly dividing the word of truth.
Because he's well surgical with the scriptures and he can rightly divide the word of truth. You see that? So first off, you got to take the steps of understanding that this is this has to be your treasure. You have to see it more. You have to see that. That's the first step. You have to see this as more than just a book. It has to be more than just coming to class, occupying time. This is more than just some Black Power movement, right? This is a book of treasure. This is a book of value. And it shows you what the steps of it being profitable for. You see that? See, this is the mind state you want to be in. Psalms chapter 77, verse 12. All right. Psalm chapter 77, verse 12.
Psalm chapter 77 and verse 12.
Give me a comment once you get it. Go ahead.
I will meditate also of all thy work.
See, what does it mean to meditate? Give me the definition. Look it up real quick, Zainal, please. So it says, I will meditate also on thy works, on all thy works. So how do you meditate on all thy works? say what?
Seek Christ in everything that you do.
Seek Christ in everything that you do. That's one way of it. But think about the question, right? We're trying to honor the Most High not with just our lips, but with our mind, right? So what does it mean to meditate? You got it?
Con.
Okay, go ahead.
Think deeply or carefully about.
Hold up. Read that again.
Think deeply.
So you're thinking deeply. That means after you read the chapter, guess what you do? You might reread it again. Then you play it out as in a movie role in your mind. You put yourself in the scenario. You put yourself in place of that story. You see that? To get clarity, well, why did he do it that way? Well, why didn't he listen? Well, why would she say it like that? Why didn't she say it like this? You see that? If you're reading the story about Deborah, you got to put yourself in place of Deborah. You see that? If you're being Sarah, you got to put yourself as Sarah in the scriptures. So to meditate is to think deeply. Read.
Think, consider, ponder.
You're pondering. This is what's always on your mind. You know how sometimes you're at work and you're like wondering what your daughter's doing right now, or maybe what your husband's doing, right? Or what you're gonna cook for dinner tonight. That's a form of meditating. That's a meditative form state, right? So instead of those things, not saying that that's wrong, but instead, what you're doing now is you're wondering about a story that you read in the scriptures. You're wondering about a precept that was quoted from the scriptures. You're saying it over and over and over in your brain, trying to get clarity. And then if you don't get the understanding that you need, then you make the call. It doesn't have to be on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday. It could be on a Tuesday. It could be at 3 a.m. It could be at 4 a.m. It could be in the afternoon. But that's what David's doing. He's meditating on all thy works. How do you meditate on all thy works? Because you're constantly in this book and you're reading.
Like almost concentrate.
You're concentrating, you're focused on it, right? Go ahead.
For religion, plan mentally. Consider. That's what it said.
Go ahead with the precept. Where you at?
This is Psalm chapter 77 and verse 12. I will meditate also of all thy work and talk of thy doing.
And you're going to talk of your doing. So now, what is your speech? What is your speech pattern like? Instead of, girl, listen, I seen on Empire, oh, you know what they did on the Orange is the New Black? Instead of talking like that, right? Now your talk is, man, I was reading about Sarah, and you know, Rebecca, she had, you see that? That's what your talk is like. Your talk, your mouth is going to edify what your brain's on. Did you know that? So now your speech pattern is going to be different. Why? Because now you're more studied. You see that? Psalms 119 and what was the verse? Psalms 119, start at verse 9.
Psalm chapter 119 and verse 9.
Give me a comment when you got it.
Is it 119 and verse 9?
119 and the 9th verse.
God.
All right. You got it, sis? All right. Go ahead.
With all shall a young man cleanse his way.
Read it again, sir.
Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way.
How are you going to clean the way that you know that wasn't correct? You're how old? You're 25. You know that at least 23, 24 years of your life was bad, right? Before you got the truth. So how are you going to cleanse that way? How are you going to clean that old woman? Right? That's the right path. That's the right path. Read.
By taking heed thereto according to thy word.
By what?
Of taking heed according to thy word.
When it says taking heed, what you're doing now is you're reading and you're listening attentively. To what? To this word. That because what you're doing is you're trying to figure out and calculate how to stop doing the bad habits that you know you have in you. So he's asking a question and then he answers it. He said, how is a man going to clean his old ways? Oh, by taking heed according to this word. By doing what this word says. You see that? Go ahead.
Verse 10. With my whole heart.
With what?
With my whole heart.
With a fraction?
With my whole heart.
So you're doing this with all of your mind. You're putting yourself in a biblical scenario all the time. We just read it in 1 Timothy that it's profitable for doctrine, for reproof, right? For everything. So there's nothing in your life that you can experience that the Bible can't have the answer for. So that's why you're doing it with your whole heart. You're doing it with all of your mind. Come on, the churches even have the motto, WWJD, right? Right? What would Jesus do, right? How many times have you asked yourself that in certain situations? It's that simple. It's not hard. But it has to start somewhere. And it starts with the simplest things. Dang. You know what would Yahweh Shai do? Let me read. What did he do in this situation? You know what? I can't find it. Let me call this brother and find out with some good recommendation. Reading recommendation in the scriptures on what Yahweh Shai would do in this situation or that situation. And I guarantee you'll get an answer and you'll get at least 15 scriptures. Right? Was that it? So with my whole heart have I sought thee. So you're not seeking the Most High half-assed. You're doing it with everything in your power. If you got a lunch break, if you got a 15, you're at work, Bible app. Read a couple verses, read a chapter if you can. If you get up early, you're fixing breakfast for the kids, right, for the family, and while you're waiting for it to because you're not standing over the stove just stirring all day, right? No, you put it in the microwave. You got 2-3 minutes. You can read 2-3 verses in a minute like that, right? You got audio Bibles. Hook it up to the Bluetooth, surround sound speaker in your car, right? You can listen to some Psalms. You can listen to some Proverbs on your way to work. Listen to it 1, 2, 3 times in a row. Yeah.
Just a precept about Ecclesiastes 38:24.
Okay, what's up? What's it say?
Wisdom of a learned man cometh in opportunity of leisure.
Okay, go read it.
God, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 38 and verse 24.
Hang on. Wait for her to get it. Chapter 38 and verse 24.
Yeah, this Yashala.
Yeah, he
San
is.
Antonio dropped this, but every time I'm at a time to where I know I should be studying, the scripture always comes to my mind and checks me because we always get to that mode where we want to do what we want to do, chill, watch TV, whatever it may be, but we know what we need to do.
Right.
But does everybody have a scripture? Ecclesiastes chapter 38 and verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure.
So how does that man become wise? How does that man become wise? You know how he becomes wise? On his free time, he's studying. The time he's sitting on the toilet, he's studying. Instead of watching a movie, he's studying. She's studying. average car ride to work is what? 30 minutes
Con.
minimum. Hour at the most, right? Because of traffic.
Right?
You stay on the road, right?
Con.
You know how many chapters of audio Bible you could have read? And you know what's so powerful about the scriptures too? Each time you hear it, you learn something you didn't hear before. You picked up a new piece of a puzzle. Like if you listen for simple. If you listen to Proverbs chapter 1, you listen to it 3 times in a row. You're like, what the heck? I didn't pick that up the first time. Then the second time, you're like, wait a minute. Whoa, so that's why. And then the third time, you're like, oh, and then it dawns on you. But that wisdom comes through free time. Whatever free time you have, that's where you put it. And then if you want to go above and beyond, that's where you get the sacrifice. That's where you really get blessed. Because now you're doing it when you don't have time. Think about it. The Most High is never going to give us more than we can handle, right? He gives every single person 24 hours in a day. So what's our excuse? Because listen, I'll give you a scenario. I'll give you a story. If I had a car, right, and I said, I'm going to give you $1 million, but all you got to do is wash my car every single morning at 6 a.m. Now you want $1 million, right?
Oh, God.
But you got to get it this car, and you got to get it as clean as Zionala's car. He's like the only brother I know who keeps his car like the cleanest, aside from Kazai. So you're gonna get up every single morning. Instead of being there at 6, you'll be there at 5:45. Right? You'll be there every single day trying to figure out, or you'll be there every single day until you accumulate that money. Why? Because that's what you treasure. Right? So finish reading where you're at.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 38, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure,
Okay.
and he that hath little business shall become wise.
Why is that guy going to become wise? Because with his free time, he's maximizing the most of what he needs to learn to get ahead. All right? Now go to 2 Corinthians chapter 7. Now this is all right.
2 Corinthians.
All right. Anybody who's watching, we are having technical difficulties, buffering problems, but this class will. I'm sorry. YouTube is having buffeting problems. All right. But this class will be saved, so fret not. All right.
God.
Don't trip, potato chip.
You said 2 Corinthians chapter 7?
Yeah, start at verse 9.
In verse 9. Now I rejoice, not that ye were made sorry, but that ye sorrow to repentance.
So now that we understand this, right? About where the heart is, where your treasure be also, right? That you don't beat yourself up to it. You don't beat yourself up over it, right? To where like, oh, it's just a hopeless battle and you give up, right? But to repent is to be like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna fix that. You start making a plan of execution, right? You make an itinerary.
God.
You like to make side notes? You make notes? You have reminders on your phone? How many alarms you got when you wake up in the morning? You have 3, right? And you could put little messages on each one that when you wake up, right? There it is. And after your third one gets up, and after your third one goes off, and you finally get out of bed, right? Make a fourth one. Make a fourth one and put a note. Read 2 Psalms today. Right? And you can set that at your lunch. So when your phone goes off, your alarm goes off, you'll read it. Like, why did I set this alarm? Oh, read 2 Psalms today. Boom. You see that? So now you're not beating yourself up over it. Now you made a plan of execution, and you're micromanaging your time, because that's what it basically boils down to, micromanaging your time. If you could do that for your 9 to 5, why not the scriptures? Continue.
Come. Verse 8. Though I did repent, actually, verse 9.
Second precept.
Second precept. But that ye sorrow to repentance, for ye were made sorry after a godly manner,
Right.
that ye might receive damage by us in nothing.
Continue.
For godly sorrow worketh repentance, to salvation, not to be repented of.
So now you get the repentance. So it's not basically like you get the correction. So it's not like we didn't tell you. So now you know you have the method. You see that? Now you got the ammo, you got the ammunition on to do what needs to be necessary, to do what needs to be done. What you thinking about?
It's just what you're saying. I'm repeating it in my head so I can remember it next.
You're remembering it in your head? Put it in your notepad too. Like I said, we gotta utilize the technology and the tools that we got, right? We're always on our phone. We're always on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, right? We're always on these things. You can set you know your own force of habits, right? Like I said, set a reminder. Your reminder goes off in the middle of your screen while you're looking at your phone. So if you're on Facebook after class and you get home at 11, right? You get home at 11 and you unwind and you get out the shower and you're in bed by 11:30. You're gonna pick up your phone. You're gonna see what the latest is on Facebook, right? You already got a reminder at 11:35 because you're already looking at your phone at 11:30, right? So now you're gonna spend more than 5 minutes scrolling through Facebook, looking at funny videos, looking on the commentaries, looking on what people say, right? Con? I'm guilty of it. But then you got a reminder on, boom, read 2 chapters before you go to bed. So now you're stopping what you're doing because it interrupted the video, right? It interrupted the video, and now, boom, you get that reminder. Then let me go ahead and stop this scrolling on the Facebook and read these 2 chapters real quick. You know what? I don't know what 2 chapters to read. Let me make a phone call. You know what? Let me look over my notes and see the verses that he went over and read that chapter of that. We got tools. Back before the cell phones was big, we had sticky notes, right? Sticky pads. Right? What were you gonna say?
No, even in the world, and the truth is the same thing. It's like in the world we do certain things to remind us, right? But they call them accountability partners. You know what I'm saying? Accountability partners, or what is it called? Your confidants. You know what I'm saying? People that you talk to. Obviously, somebody that'll help you read. But that's what the body's here for. You know what I'm saying? For like you and I, when we fast. Boom. All right, you gonna fast? I'm gonna fast. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We around each other all the time anyway. So it's almost like, dang, I feel like this. I feel like that. So we're talking about it. But the thing about it, it makes us stronger. You know what I'm saying? Accountability partners.
Right.
Get a sister, get a number, y'all chit chat every day. Make sure y'all hit the verses. Make sure y'all doing this and doing that, because that's why it says woe to him that's left alone, because they're left to their own mind, their own reasoning, and
their own destruction.
Con.
That's why the scripture also says iron sharpeneth iron. How does iron sharpen iron? Because she's always around to strike you, to spark that fire up, to test that metal that you got, right? So that's exactly what you do. You get a confidant. You have somebody that you're close to. You got the numbers that you can hit. Where, like I said, this isn't just a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday thing. I deal with this brother all the time. I deal with multiple brothers all the time. From sun up to sundown, and everything in between. And I always, if I'm around my heads, I start my statement off. You know what? I was thinking. You know what? This has just crossed my mind. You see that? Those are my confidants. That they're gonna strike that iron, and it's gonna sharpen me. This isn't, like I said, this isn't just a good sermon. This isn't just a good book, a good story. This is the way of life. This is what you gotta desire. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. You gotta discipline yourself. You want that wisdom? You gotta discipline yourself and take the steps necessary to get increased in the wisdom. You got to go out of your way to get her attention. You gotta. It's like you're crying for help. You got to run on top of the mountain, hold two big flares, and yell at the top of your lungs like, "Hey, look at me!" Right? That's how you got to cry. That's how you got to cry to the Most High for the wisdom. You got to take the steps necessary. You got to utilize your tools. Call numbers, call brothers, call sisters. What sister you talked to like so far this week? Outside of class? How many times? At least what? At least once? Like today? Oh, you said once a day. Oh, okay. Once out of the week? Oh, okay. Once out of this week. I'm sorry. You're like real soft spoken, and I can't hear you with the fan. I'm sorry. But you know how many times I talked to Zion? At least 4 today. At least 4 times. In a week, I couldn't even count it on one hand, on 2 hands. That's that confidence. You're building that, one, you're building that relationship. 2, you're sacrificing what you feel is right in your mind, and you're casting that down. And that's what's going to keep your mind occupied in the precepts. You're talking to a sister, she's talking to you, and she might be going off about what she read. And you'll be like, "Dang, where'd you read that at?" Hold up, you know what? I'm gonna go read that right now. And then you're gonna add a precept to what she said. You're gonna add a why saying to what she said. Why? Because that's where your mind is. So that answer your question? Kyle? I mean, listen, it happens to the best of us. Me, I had to scrutinize. I had to scrutinize. Something just came on my mind. I had to scrutinize everything that I had to calculate, and I had to plan in order for me to do what I have to do, in order to do what needs to be done. That's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 17. Now this is our motto. This is the motto that the brothers got. You know what I mean? But this isn't just a brother thing. It's a youth thing. It's an Israelite thing.
6 and 17,
6 and verse 17.
Come. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love.
Right. So read it again.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
That her is talking about wisdom, right? We understand that through reading through the scriptures. But it says the beginning of her is the desire of discipline. You're disciplining yourself. You're sacrificing what you feel is right inside yourself, and you're coming outside of that. You're going above and beyond what you normally do to get that desire, or to get that wisdom. That's what you're doing. So the true beginning of that wisdom is the desire of discipline. You got to desire that within yourself. The same way you have a standard about yourself, your code of conduct, that you won't devalue yourself in a certain aspect, whether it be a man, or whether it be a food, or whether it be in clothing, whether it be in living conditions, right? You have to have that same fashion according to the scriptures. Like, look, I want to be this deep in the knowledge and this deep in wisdom. So what do you have to do? You have to discipline and set a regimen for yourself. And you have to check that goal sheet every single day. Your daughter's in school, right? Daycare? Do you have the monthly calendar of what they eat sometimes up on the fridge? Oh, I was gonna say my kid, he was in public school. We got that for him, right? And sometimes I scribble notes on there. Why? Because I'm always at the refrigerator for something. Whether it be water, juice, some food. But well, first thing I do, look at the door before I open it, right? Reminder. You have to desire that within yourself. You have to desire to want to change and want to increase in this wisdom. So you gotta push yourself. You know your comfort zone, but you gotta desire to push yourself beyond that comfort zone. I'm comfortable with talking to a sister one day, but you know what? Let me hit her up today. Let me hit her up at 5 o'clock when she gets off work. Let me hit this brother up, find out this question about this. That's that desiring discipline. Read.
And the care of discipline is love.
And that care of the discipline, that's that real love. You're showing that love through the actions. You're showing the love of the same way you asked, right? How do you want something to change within yourself, right? That's a step. That's a starting step. But now you got to continue to step like that, right? Tomorrow's Tuesday, so you got to do something dramatic like you did today on Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday. It has to be a daily routine. Like I said, it's above Monday, Tuesday, or Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. But it's a daily routine. Do we have any other questions, Jeff? You got another question, sis? Sure. So, I mean, what made you realize this about yourself?
I'm just asking. I was reading like a chapter, and I read across that scripture, and it was like, that's me. Like, I have a lazy heart. Like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. I always pick my flesh above the Most High, and I was like, I'm weak at this moment, but I don't want to be that way. So how do I support myself from not being lazy heart, having a lazy heart?
Right. And now you gotta really do that. Then this is now that's how you do that. That's how you get away from that. By taking those type of steps. Like I said, you even like check this out. What was it? I did a class on this one time.
Members?
No, it was go to 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. here's what you got to do. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5.
2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. If you can say comment if you have it.
Okay.
Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith.
So you got to examine yourself. How do you examine yourself? Uh-huh.
But sometimes I don't feel like I'm examining myself completely because I've been doing stuff so long. It's like that's normal to me. So in my head, it might not be wrong, but actually it's wrong. So I feel like I'm not like I don't have a mirror like I want to have a mirror to examine myself completely. I'm examining myself on some stuff.
Mhm.
Like I said, stuff to me is normal, even though it might be wrong. It's normal to me because it's how I was raised and it's something I normally do.
You first off, you gotta to examine yourself. You gotta be humble enough to know where your weaknesses are, what you take pleasure in that puts priority over the scriptures. You have to be humble enough to know. Then you know what? I like to play video games on the phone, right? Pokemon Go. You know what I mean? Some people are guilty of that. Like, you know what? I did spend 3 hours on Pokemon Go. I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos on Britney Spears and Nicki Minaj and all types of stuff, right? But what you're doing is you're making a conscious effort to know and say, you know what? I fall victim to this. That's what you're doing to examine yourself. Another word for examination. Give me this definition real quick on your phone. To scrutinize. Because I said it before, but you got to really understand what that word means. To scrutinize. Because the scripture says to examine yourselves, right? Whether you be in the faith. Hey, am I Christ-like right now? Hey, am I Yahushua-like right now? But in order to do that, you have to understand what this means. You got it? What you got, Alexandra?
It says examine or inspect closely and thoroughly.
In what? Thoroughly.
Thoroughly. Oh, thoroughly. I'm sorry.
So you're examining something closely, minutely, to the smallest minute level. That's what you're doing to examine yourself. That's what you're doing to know your shortcomings and what leads you to go do that 3 hour of Pokemon. What's the start of that thought? It didn't just happen. You didn't just pick up the phone and then Pokemon Go just started, right? The YouTube videos didn't just automatically appear, right? No, something took place. You know what? What was that song I heard? Oh. Then you're looking for the lyrics. And then you keep looking for the lyrics until you finally find the song. And then you look at the video. Then you look at what's related to that video. Then you're looking up what that person's done, what songs they've done, right? You're going through the whole history. You've already wasted 15 minutes. 15 minutes, you already would have been through a half a chapter. So you have to understand you're closely examining where it started from. I'll use myself again as an example. I love to watch YouTube videos, right? Comic books and parkour and all kinds of stuff, right? All kinds of things. Martial arts, right? Dance competitions. But I'm like, okay, so where's it start? First off, when I liked it previously, I'd set notifications. So you know what I got to do? Turn that notification off. Right? I gotta turn that notification off. I gotta do everything opposite of what I know I fall victim to all the time. So you're examining yourself. Read.
ye in the faith.
Whether you're in the faith. You're closely examining, you're closely, what was it? Minutely,
Critically.
you're what?
It's critically examining
You're
yourself.
critically. So you're not just like, okay, well, I'm feeling like this. No, you're critically doing it.
It says to investigate, to study.
You're investigating. You're doing research on why you were thinking that. Why you breathed that way. Why you took a sigh of breath that way. That's what you're doing. Read.
Prove your own selves.
How do you prove your own self? How do you prove yourself? First, you're going to get the proof from the brothers and sisters around you. Right? You're going to get the proof from the brothers and sisters that you're around. Because they're going to show you the things that you need to work on, show you where your shortcomings are. Then you have to, and most of all, most importantly, is the scriptures. Con?
God.
What were you going to say, sis?
Now, I say you have to accept to be willing. You have to accept it.
At first, there be a willing mind.
Like if you want to quit something and you just say, and don't want to quit, but you want to still pray. And when you pray, you're not praying it from your heart faith. You're not really talking to God. You're just saying something and you don't hear it because you do not want it to.
Basically, making a loud noise. So you're examining yourself, right? You have others around you. You have your brothers, you have the sisters that you're around, that see you in your daily environment, that can help critique. That's where the confidant comes in. That's where the iron sharpening iron comes in. Because it's not just Ecclesiastes, yeah. Because this is how you're examining yourself. It said the scripture said 2 or 3 are better than 1, right?
4 and 9.
4 and 9. Go ahead, just read it real quick.
Ecclesiastes 4 and verse 9. 2 are better than 1.
2 are better than 1. You can't, like you said, you don't have a mirror. You can't look internally all the time, right? But a person who's standing outside next to you can look at you and see your imperfections, can see where you're falling victim to, and can help you. Read.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
You're gonna have a good reward for having that person next to you. You're gonna have a good reward for having that confidant that's helping you. You're gonna have a good reward for that iron sharpening your iron. You're desiring and you're disciplining yourself to be around that confidant who's going to strike your iron. And your reward comes from the Most High for that. Good on that?
You keep reading most of it.
So that answer your question, though, sis? That helps you out? Okay. Did we have any questions on anything else? Any questions online? Okay. So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over Daniel's, the 7th chapter. All right, and the reason why is, one, it's good for history, but at the same time, you're gonna understand that what happened in the past, you're gonna understand the present, and you're gonna understand the future. Right? Things happen for a reason back then, and then they currently happen. But guess what? Still to come. So we have a good reward coming to us. So don't just look at this like it's a good story. This is something that's fire. This is something good. Hot fire. All right, and you plus make sure you take good notes. Make sure you take good notes. All right, because this is a good meaty class. All right, no problem, sis. Shalom. You cold?
I said, see, maybe I'm trying to catch a cold.
Oh, okay. All right. So, go ahead. Daniel's chapter 7.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed.
All right. So, Belshazzar was the second king of the Babylonian Empire. What's wrong?
No, I was thinking about it.
What?
No, I was going to take a picture.
Oh, no, just write it down.
Okay.
So he was the second king. He was the second king of the Babylonian Empire. He was the son to Nebuchadnezzar. All right. And the reason why we're going over this chapter is to understand what happened in the past, and to understand what happened in the present, and understand what's going to happen in the future. Yeah. What will come. Good things. Good things. All right? So Daniel had this dream. All right? Go ahead.
Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea.
Okay, stop. So the four winds, that represented the four nations. All right? It said, I'll let you write that down. So it said that, and Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds. So that four winds is going to represent the four nations. Right? The four winds of the heaven that strove upon the great sea. That heaven, all right, it's talking about the power, rulership of the earth. The power, rulership of the earth. Right? And it said, strove upon the great sea. So it warred. That strove means to war. So this is showing you right here that this Bible is a history book. And see, what you're gonna understand as we're going through this chapter is that all these empires is in a history. It's not just a biblical thing. This is also a historical thing. What's your question?
And the four winds, what four nations are
We'll get into that.
they? Okay.
That's why we gotta go over the whole chapter. Don't jump, baby. It's like watching a movie unfold. You don't want to understand. You don't want to watch the climax yet. You gotta let the beat build. Right? Right. Go to Revelations chapter 17 and verse 15.
Say it, please.
Because the beginning is gonna start in a parable form, right? But as we continue to read, then you're gonna get the understanding. All right. Give me a con when you got it.
Con.
Okay. So in Daniel's chapter 2, so the four winds we understand was what?
4 nations.
The four nations, right? Daniel's chapter 7, right? The four winds represent the four nations
God.
that strove, right, upon the great sea. We're gonna show you what this great sea represents. All right? Because the sea represents, read.
This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth. Where the whore sitteth are peoples.
Or what?
Are peoples.
Okay. What else?
And multitudes.
And what?
And multitudes.
Continue.
And nations.
And what?
And nations.
So the great seas represent what?
Nations.
Nations. There you go. Because these four empires were going to come into power and they were going to rule these nations. You see that?
Come.
Con?
Come.
Okay. All right. Verse 3.
This is more James.
Back in Daniel. Chapter 7 and verse 3.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 3. And 4 great beasts came from the sea.
So the 4 great beasts, these 4 great nations, right? These 4 great nations came from what?
From the sea.
And the sea represents the what?
The nations.
The nations.
Oh, okay. 18.
Read.
Diverse one from another.
Diverse one from another, right? That's showing that they're different from one to the other. That's what it means to be diverse. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 4. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings.
So the first was the Babylonian Empire that came into power at 586 approximately BC. So the first was the Babylonian Empire that came into power approximately 586 BC.
Is it 586 BC?
Yes, sir.
Come.
Okay. So the first was like a lion, right? A lion what?
And had eagle's wings.
All right. So the lion had eagle's wings. All right. It was the image of a griffin that was copied from the Assyrian Empire. This was their symbol. This is what represented the Babylonian Empire. All right.
Oh, still to the.
Yeah.
You said a griffin?
Yeah, griffin. Here, do we have an image you can shoot up? So this was the first empire that was basically going to conquer the whole known world at this time. All right, which was that Babylonian Empire. So, but there were other empires. There were other empires that had rulership, but this one was doing it on a vast scale. These 4. You get that image up? Yeah. So you see that? All right. Go ahead.
Con. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth.
So when it says lifted up from the earth, that's when it came into power. Okay.
Con.
Read.
And may stand upon the feet as a man.
It says, as a what?
As a man.
Because it was a man. We understood that the sea represented the people, right?
Come.
Yeah. So it wasn't some mythological beast. Continue.
And a man's heart was given to it.
It was a man's mind. This man's mind, he had a man's mind, being Nebuchadnezzar. Today would be known as the Ethiopians. Make sure you take good notes. All right, where we at?
This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear.
Another beast, right? This is another kingdom, right? This is the Persians and the Medes Empire. No, you're trying to jump ahead though. Zion.
Come,
It was the Persians and the Medes,
come.
and this was the time of 538 BC. So that another beast was another kingdom, which was the Persians and the Medes, right?
Come.
And what did it say? It said it was, it said like a bear, right?
Come.
Meaning its army was ferocious. Yeah, it wasn't nothing nice. All right, go ahead.
And it raised up itself on one side.
So when it says it raised up on one side, the Persians had more power and influence than the Medes. All right? Because it was a joint kingdom. But the Persians had more influence and they had more power. You see that?
Come.
But it was still a joint kingdom. Go ahead.
And it had 3 ribs in the mouth,
Uh-huh.
of it between the teeth of it.
Stop. So, it said it had how many ribs?
3 ribs.
The 3 ribs represent the Babylonians, the Egyptians, and the Lydians. The 3 ribs represented the Babylonians, the Egyptians, and the Lydians. 3 powers. All right. So as you can see, as we're going through this, you can see that the Egyptian wasn't really that big of a threat. You see that? Because the Persians and the Medes had more power than them. Right? And the Persians and Medes had to defeat for success, for the power of success. To secure their power, they had to defeat.
Come.
Huh? Come on, it said that it was like a bear, right? When have you ever seen a friendly bear in the forest, in the wilderness? Never. That's how their military was. It was that force. Right? The Persians today are the East Indians. The Persians today are the East Indians. The Medes today, they are the Aborigines of Australia. Yeah. Aborigines of Australia, the Eskimos, Filipinos. Yeah.
I'm getting deep. Hold on.
Yeah, Filipinos.
I'm with the Filipinos on weekdays.
The Hawaiians. The Togans. The Samoans. You said you're with the what, sis?
I'm with the Filipinos through the weekdays.
Oh, through the weekdays?
They're not,
Yes.
I remember I thought that the Filipinos and the Hawaiians were like part of the 12 tribes of Israel
Really?
when I first came. I don't know why I just thought that they were.
Right.
Some people have one of this.
But
Yeah.
nah, see, because I mean, we're not because we're mingled amongst them, but we're not. You know what I mean?
Fine.
There's our people in China, our people are in Africa, our people are in London, Paris, right?
Fine.
So we're mingled amongst all the nations, but that doesn't mean that they're us, right? So, but our people are amongst the nations,
Fine.
all right? The Polynesian people, Polynesians.
Islanders.
All right. So Persia's first king was Cyrus. Cyrus.
Serious.
Yeah. Boy was serious. And the Medes' first king was Darius. The Medes' first king was Darius. Last precept. When you're done writing.
And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
So when it said arise, devour much flesh, that means go and conquer. Go and conquer. All right. Verse 6.
Verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard.
So another, here's where we get it, the Greek Empire. In this time frame, in the Greek Empire, is 33 BC. 33 BC.
Come.
Con?
Come.
And now you can listen. It's as simple as this. You can go on Wikipedia, on Google right now, and type these dates in. It'll give you the history. That's how you know it. But you're not going to get the understanding. They're not going to give you the full understanding like the scriptures is. They're not going to show you from a biblical Hebrew standpoint. But they are going to try to tell you a form of the truth. You see that? You're seeing it right now, right? Are you Googling it? Did you Wikipedia it?
No, I was about to put my phone on.
All right. So read verse 6 again.
Verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
Hang on. So again, why is this history good?
Because
Go ahead.
it's just past, there's nothing new under the sun. So basically what was done back then will happen again in another fashion.
Right.
Or
What else?
I mean, it's good to know history, especially about people who's captive.
Well, think about it. The scripture says, where no vision is, the people perish, right? You got to understand where you came from, what happened, right? And then you got to see where the Most High is going to take it. Every single time he's going to take that, but this time when Yahweh Shai Hamashiach returns, he's going to have all power, and nothing's going to be able to stop him. You see that? Every kingdom that got brought up got brought down to nothing. So it's showing you. This is showing you through history that there's been great kingdoms. Okay, yeah, you got the Babylonians. Oh, okay, you got the Persians and the Medes. Oh, okay, you got the Greeks, right? But where they at now? And then what's going to be in the future? What's going to be is the kingdom of Israel, the Most High's kingdom. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Right? That's why this is hot. That's why this is important. Right? So you're at verse 6. Another.
Like a leopard.
Like a what?
Like a leopard.
That leopard. Who's that leopard?
The Greek.
The what?
The Greek.
What Greek? You were looking him up, remember? That's Alexander the Great.
Oh,
That represented Alexander the Great, whose father was Philip of Macedonia. All right? So, Alexander the Great, whose father was Philip of Macedonia, right? Who conquered all the known world, the known dark nations in just 12 years. 12 years. Yeah, he was a beast. Come on, what have you done in 12 years? I thought about that the first time I heard it. I was like, wow, I feel like I ain't did nothing. This dude's conquering nations. It's showing you how advanced their mind was, right? You got our people standing in line waiting for the next J's and the next Xbox and the Freakum outfits. Still was trying to take over nations. Look at that mind state. Look at the mind state of maturity. You see that? Ugh. But it's okay because that's what we're trying to get back to. So it's showing you again in history where the mind was, what it's going to come back to. No more children tossed to and fro. Right? So he conquered all the known dark nations in about 12 years. Right? He was also known for wearing the leopard's skull cap when he went into battle. You know, that's horrible. Oh, that guy was a horrible man. As good as good of a great warrior he was, right? Known for dying from syphilis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fellatio source.
Yeah, fellatio with the horse. Horrible. You this big, giant, mighty man in the world, and you die not of a battle wound, but of syphilis. He was a giant sodomite, bro. Yeah.
They said he conquered what? He conquered 12, you said?
12, the whole known dark world in 12 years. In 12 years. All right. Where we at?
This is going to be Daniel chapter 6, or chapter 7 and verse 6, second precept. Which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
All right. So the 4 wings, that's going to represent the 4 realms. Alexander's kingdom was divided into. So he had all this power, but when he died, it got divided. And it got divided into 4 realms. You said what? Oh, I thought you said something. All right. So one of the realms was Hell's Point, which consisted of Greece and Mesopotamia. That was the first realm.
Hell's Point.
Hell's Point. Right? The second is Bithynia. Bear with me. Bithynia. 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 The third was Egypt. Then the fourth was Asia, which included Israel, Assyria, and Babylon. Asia included Israel, Assyria, and Babylon. Okay? So that's what the 4 wings represented. Go ahead.
Which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads.
Stop. So the 4 heads were the 4 generals under Alexander who ruled these realms. And when you Wikipedia this, when you Google this is in their history. This is in their history. All right. So the 4 generals, they were the one from Hellen's Point consisted of which was in Greece and Mesopotamia. That was Cassander. Cassander. Cassander.
So one more
Cassander. All right. The second one at Bithynia was Lysimachus. All right. That's Lysimachus. All right.
Spell it one more time, please.
Lysimachus. All right. The third was Egypt, right? Now that general was Ptolemy. I misspoke it, but it's Ptolemy. 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 All right. So you got to see from a biblical aspect that the Most High, He's showing you what nations were going to rule on the earth. And then this is also going to show you that the people who don't understand that the white man is Esau, who is Esau? Because in the latter kingdom, you had the Greeks, the Romans, right?
Con.
It was Esau. Yeah. So, and it never changed. When has it ever changed? It hasn't. So this is how you know the Bible's real.
Right.
He's showing you what's to come, and then nothing ever changed from that.
Con.
Here, hold that. Go to Second Ezra chapter. Chapter 6, verse 8 and verse 9.
Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm. No. Wait, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it, right there.
Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Right. We understand that during the birth.
Con.
Right?
Con.
Go ahead.
For Esau is the end of the world.
For Esau is the what?
The end of the world.
Esau is the end of the world. And who now look at the nation who's ruling. Who's in rulership right now?
Esau.
Are they dark skinned? Oh, you thought what? Because Obama? No, Obama's out of office now. Esau's in rulership, right?
Con.
Read. So he's the end of the world, right? Read.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And what?
Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And Jacob, meaning Israel, is going to be the one that gets in the rulership after the destruction of Esau, which is done by the Most High, not us.
Con.
So this Greco-Roman Empire is basically an extension of what America was established off of, their power.
Con.
You see that?
Con.
So that's what we're understanding through the scriptures, and that's what they're showing you in history. Because it's never switched from Esau's hand. Once Esau got into power in 333 BC, when does it change? When does it shifted? It hasn't. Not one time. From Britain all the way through to here, right? To America. It was always Esau ruling. You guys see that?
Con.
All right. So, the fourth general. That was it on that. But the fourth general from Asia, which included Israel, Syria, and Babylon, right?
Con.
That was Seleucus. Seleucus, which is Seleucus. 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 Right?
Con.
Go ahead.
Pick it back in Daniel.
Yeah, back in Daniel's.
This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 6.
Last precept.
The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Right. So it's showing you, it said dominion, that was the power given to the Greeks. All right?
Con.
That's what that was. They were given that power, that rulership, and they were given that authority. All right?
Con.
Continue.
Verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and beheld a 4th beast.
So here's that 4th beast. Because we already been through 3 beasts, right?
Con.
And what are the 3 beasts so far?
The lion, the bear, and the leopard.
Okay. And what did they represent? What kingdoms? What was the first? What was the first kingdom? What year? What empire? What beast?
The first empire was the Babylonian Empire.
Okay.
That was in 586 BC.
Okay. And what was that? What was that beast?
The beast was a lion.
That's it. That's it.
For the first empire. A lion with eagle wings. The griffin.
It was a what?
The griffin.
Okay. And what was that a representation
Oh, of Assyria.
of? Who? The griffin. The lion with the wings. They stole that from the Assyrians. All right. That's why I say. That's why I say you gotta make sure you're taking good notes. Don't be trying to read ahead and read some extra stuff. Read what we're going over.
God.
That way you can understand. You know what I mean? You can't be that trooper Ariana what he used to do. But anyways, that was an inside joke. Was that no? All right, bro. So the first beast was what?
The lion. The eagle wings. The griffin.
Okay, which represented a griffin, right?
God.
Okay. And what kingdom was that?
The Babylonian.
When did they come into power?
586 BC.
Who was that emperor? Or who was that ruler?
How do you get that one?
Alexander the Great, right?
No, ma'am. It was, what was the first verse? King who?
Oh yeah. My fault. Yeah, my
Neb-
fault. Belshazzar, son of Nebuchadnezzar.
Son of Nebuchadnezzar. It was Nebuchadnezzar. And who are they today?
The Ethiopians.
The what?
The Ethiopians.
There we go. All right. Did you write that down?
No, but I'm watching now.
Okay. Write that down. All right. Can't be trying to jump ahead, man. Slow it down, big fella. Take your time with them notes, big fella. Right?
God.
All right. Now, what was the second kingdom?
That was the person in the Medes.
Okay. And what was their animal? What did they represent?
Bear.
The what?
Bear.
Okay. Why did they represent the bear?
They were strong and came with great force.
Because of their military. Their army was ferocious.
Kind.
Because their army was ferocious. All right? What about them three ribs?
Babylonian, Egyptians, and Libyans.
Okay.
Lydians.
Okay. What else? So what did the Persians, who are the Persians today?
Essenians.
Okay. Did you write that down? Or did you guess that?
No, I wrote
You wrote it down? Okay.
It's in the memory bank already.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, what's the Medes then?
The Medes is
Oh.
the Filipinos, the Hawaiians, the Aborigines of Australia.
Give it to me in the order that I gave it to you in.
Aborigines of Australia.
Okay.
Philippines. To the left. Philippines, Eskimos, Hawaiians, Polynesians, and what's the last one?
All right. See, that's where you gotta make sure your attention is not divided. Stay with what we're going over, and take your time. If you miss something, ask me to go over it, and I'll re-go over it for you. All right. But yeah, the Aborigines of Australia, the Eskimos, the Filipinos, right? The Hawaiians, the Tongans. All right. Tongans. All right. The Samoans. Samoans. S. The Samoans, right? The Polynesian peoples. So who was the first king? Who's the first king of the Persians?
King Cyrus.
Cyrus, right?
Huh?
And who was the first king of the Medes?
King Darius.
Okay. What's the next one?
This is gonna be the leopard.
Oh, what year was the Persian and the Medes?
538
I can't hear you. Say it again.
538 BC.
Okay. 538 BC. BC. All right. What's the third?
The lepers.
That's the leopard. The who?
Greeks.
Okay. Say it with confidence if you wrote it down. It was the Greeks? Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay, well, what year then, if you're positive?
333 BC.
333 what?
BC.
Okay, there it is. 333 BC. The Greek Empire went into power. Okay? By way of who?
Alexander the Great.
Okay. Who was his father though?
Philip
Macedonia.
Philip of
So he was under his father, and when his father died, he became ruler. Right? But what was Alexander known as? The what?
Swift conqueror.
The what?
Swift conqueror.
Which would be what?
the leopard.
Like the leopard.
The leopard, eh? The leopard, That's leopard. He's known as the leopard, right? Why was he known as a leopard? Zion? Or, no, you know what? Shira?
Because he conquered the dark world in 12 years.
All the known dark nations. And what time?
232.
No, I said, and how long did it take him?
12 years.
There it is. What were you gonna say, Zainab?
No, that he actually wore a leopard head in the battle as well.
Skull cap. Alright. Okay, what else we got? What did the four wings represent? Shira?
Alexander's 4 kingdoms, they were divided.
The 4 realms of kingdoms that were divided, right? Okay, and what were the 4?
The 4 generals were Hellespont, Thrace, and Bithynium, and then Egypt and Asia Minor.
Say it again. Say that again.
The 4 generals were Hellespont.
No, not the 4 generals.
No.
What were the realms? What were the kingdoms?
The 4 kingdoms was what she said. Hell's Point.
No. She said the 4 generals.
Huh.
You gotta reword it because the generals is what's their names? Because these are the generals are the ones who ruled the realm,
Huh.
who ruled the kingdom. So what's the kingdom locations? Zion.
The first is Hell's Point. It's Greece and Mesopotamia,
Mm-hmm.
and the general was Cassander.
Mm-hmm.
The second realm was Bithynia,
Bithynia. Mm-hmm.
and the commander was Lysimachus.
Mm-hmm.
The third realm was Egypt. Its commander was Ptolemy.
Ptolemy. Mm-hmm.
The fourth realm is Asia, which the realms can include Israel, Assyria, and Babylon.
Okay.
and the general was Seleucus.
Okay. Is that what everybody got down? Anybody need me to go over something, over it again? And what year was this?
Yeah. Got kind of fast.
333 BC.
So now I'm gonna ask you again. Why is this history important? Because the reason why it's important is because it's showing you, it's giving you a foreshadow, it's showing you what happened, and it's showing you what is happening now and what's to come. That's why it's important. You got to know what happened in history, right? And then you got to look and see how the powers that be in rulership right now, how they try to use that, and then they try to convert it into like, okay, it was some mystic battle when it's proof that it was in history that it was real, and it's showing you that means since that was real, what's to come is definitely gonna be for real. And it's showing you again that whatever the Most High said what was gonna be came to pass. All right.
Con.
You said, what did? And then the most important is that that Esau is that so-called the white man is the so-called white man is that Edomite nation.
Con.
That's important. All right. Because you're gonna understand that more. Right?
Con.
Because now it just shifted. Because the Romans took over the Greeks. I'm sorry. The Greeks took over the Romans,
Con.
and they're the same people. All right. What did you say you didn't get, Sister Mary?
Well, I said, no, but I do a little bit better, at home and going so fast. I ain't got
Okay. Well, I mean, like if you need me to re-say something, just let me know. All right. What didn't you get? What didn't you get? What didn't you get?
When I was writing all the names and stuff down,
Okay. What names?
it was,
'Cause we're not in a race or anything. We're not. You know what I mean? Press for time. We're here for each other. Did you need the 4 generals' names?
yeah, that's
Okay, Zion. What were the 4 generals' names?
The first general was Cassander.
the spelling.
Yes, C-A-S-S-A-N-D-E-R. The second one was Lysimachus, Lysimachus. The third was a general of Egypt. His name was Ptolemy. Ptolemy. Alright, and the fourth is going to be Seleucus. Seleucus. Ptolemy. Ptolemy.
Well, no, not E-E. Ptolemy is P-T-O-L-E-M-Y. Ptolemy.
Oh, okay.
Ptolemy. 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 And he was the ruler of what? What realm?
Egypt.
Okay. And the fourth realm was what?
Asia.
Asia, what else?
Israel, Assyria, and Babylon.
Okay. And who was the ruler of that realm?
Seleucus.
Seleucus. Spell Seleucus for her.
SELEUCUS.
Uh-huh. Seleucus. All right. And what year was that? What year was that? You don't have it?
It was 333 BC, right?
Yes,
For
ma'am.
the Greek?
For the Greek?
For the Greek?
That's what it was. 333 BC, sis. Is that all you're missing?
33 BC, got it.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Verse 7.
Verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions and beheld a fourth beast.
So now we're touching on this fourth beast. All right? And this fourth beast is the Roman Empire that came into power approximately 227 BC. But we understand that the Greeks and the Romans are the same people. They're Edomites. All right?
Come.
All right? But Rome came fully into power in 27 BC. All right? So this is that fourth beast. The fourth beast is who?
The Roman Empire.
Okay. And what year did they come into power?
227 BC.
Okay. And what? They came fully into power
27.
in 27 BC. All right? And the Romans and Greeks are who?
Edomites.
The what?
The Edomites.
The Edomites. All right? Okay. Go ahead.
Dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly.
So that dreadful, that terrible, that strong exceedingly, that's that Roman military. That's the legions. They were called the Roman legions. These guys were dreadful. It wasn't somebody you really wanted to stand in front of. They were you guys seen the movie Gladiator, right? Khan?
Come.
You seen how they moved in that movie, right? You ever seen it?
No eyes. I hope you watch it.
You never watched Gladiator? It came out in what was that? 2005, 2003, with Russell Crowe. Oh yeah. You watch a lot of fight scenes in there. It's pretty good. It shows you just from the fight scenes that are in there. It shows you that with the way they moved and maneuvered, right? That they were powerful. That was a powerful nation. Just their military. Dang. All right. Go ahead.
Come. And strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth.
Uh-huh.
It devoured and brake in pieces,
Okay.
and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
So when it said it stamped the residue, right? It's showing you that it conquered the nations. right? That preceding it. Right?
Come.
This was the legion of Rome. There was nobody to mess with. Can't say nothing. Yeah. Go ahead.
And it was diverse for all the beasts.
So
from all the beasts.
Remember what that diverse was?
Different.
What?
Different.
The different, right? So here's how their diversity was, right? They ruled by democracy. The kingdoms before them, they ruled by monarchy. Right? So when you look up that democracy, that's basically elected people that are governing, instead of a monarchy, which is just one singular person. You have elected officials that come together, and that's the democracy. All right? And that's what America follows. That's where they got their following of the democracy. I mean, am I wrong?
Ah.
You have the Republicans and you have the what? The Democrats. Democrats. Then you have the Senate, right? All of that. America is showing you it follows in its footsteps. It shows you it's following it in the ways of the Greeks and the Romans. What was the symbol? What was the symbol of the Romans?
The eagle.
The what?
The eagle.
What's the symbol of America?
The eagle.
Obadiah. Give me Obadiah real quick. Yeah, give me that Obadiah, bro. Well, that was like one of the first scriptures I ever
I
memorized.
used to be in school and college.
Uh-huh.
Talk about the Bible, but you ever read the book of Obadiah? Go read that.
It was a customer I dealt with in the mall. He worked at NASA.
Con.
Showed him the same scripture. He was talking about being like actually going to the moon.
Con.
It's like, okay, hey, read this real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Obadiah chapter 1 and verse. Yeah, verse 4.
Obadiah verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Hold up. So back then in 227 BC, right? Who represented themselves like the eagle?
Rome.
Okay, so now in 2016, who represents themselves as the eagle?
America.
So who would the Bible be talking about?
The Edomites.
The Edomites. It's talking about these specific individual people, this nation of people, right? That's different from everybody. The same way they upheld democracy, America upholds democracy. The same way they held the Senate, America holds the Senate. They learn from Big Brother. They learn from their ancestors, and they're following in the same fashion. Give me Daniel chapter 8 and verse 25.
Daniel chapter 8
Uh-huh.
and verse 5.
25.
And verse 25.
Right?
And through his policy, also
through his pile of treachery, right?
Also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
He causes all this wicked stuff to prosper. He causes all these illusions and all these lies and all these treacheries and all these trickeries to prosper.
Politics.
Through his policies, through his lies, through the things they make you think the Democrats and the Republicans, they're against each other, that the Senate's over here. When you want to just simply put it, it's a ruling body of demons, because that's what they all are. A ruling body of demons, wicked as hell, and whose soul bent on destroying Israel and destroying this world. Why? Because they don't know any better.
Beast. That's why I call him beast.
That's why they're a beast. the beast of the field, the beast in this world.
Con.
The Bible plainly talks about it. He told you in Job, he covers the faces of the judge thereof.
Con.
First thing they did. First thing Alexander the Great did when he came over and conquered. He painted everything in his likeness, in his fashion, in his color.
Con.
If I'm lying about it, then why is Christ always white?
Con.
Look in the Sistine Chapel. Why are all the angels white, butt naked? Why is King David, right, sculpted out of marble, butt naked with a fig leaf,
Right.
right? In a little with a little Johnson, you know what I mean? Little squirt gun. Come on, man. He said he through his policies he makes craft to prosper. He's showing you the Last Supper. Everybody everybody around the whole table white, eating Subway, eating pizza, right? Why? Because he's causing that craft to prosper, and you're believing. But that's why this is important, because we're showing you through the scriptures that the Most High had already set this in motion. These are the kingdoms that are going to come into power, and this is what they look like. This is who they are. And guess what? It hasn't changed. It's all coming to pass. You know what? That means at the end of the day, we're going to be coming to pass. We're going to be in the right rulership. The earth is going to be given back to the righteous, and the earth is going to be restored in the way, in the fashion it needs to be in. What has been will be, right? And what will be has been. The Most High ordained and originally had the world for the righteous. We messed up, but the Most High, who's long suffering, will give it back to the righteous. Because he doesn't forget their labors of works and of love. You see that?
Yes.
Was that it in Obadiah? Hit me with that Obadiah one more time, right?
Obadiah Obadiah verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Okay, so if you don't even believe that, if you don't want to believe what the scripture says, okay, in 1969, Neil Armstrong, first man to touch the moon, right? What was his famous words?
Eagle has landed.
The what has landed?
The eagle has landed.
The eagle has landed. That's what he said. That was the first thing he said as soon as they touched the moon. The eagle has landed. Or in the studio where they filmed it. Right? Go ahead.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
So what did they do to mark their territory in the studio or on the moon?
Put their flag up.
They what?
Put their flag up.
You're right, because they're trying to take ownership. They're trying to lift up themselves as if they're God. They're trying to they lift up their head. Go ahead.
Thence will I bring thee down.
And even if they didn't go out of space, right? Or even if they didn't go to the moon, they still send their aircrafts, their space stations out into the outer space, right? Why? Because they're trying to show you that, listen, ain't nobody above us.
Right.
They're trying to claim. How do you claim outer space? How do you claim some space where nobody dwells as yours?
Right.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, because they knock down your door and say it's yours. They disrupt your way of living and say they discovered your land that you're already living on. So I wouldn't put it past them. But, like, they charge you for airspace that nothing occupies in that midst, and they charge you for that airspace. Who does that?
Tax you.
Yeah, they taxed you.
I don't know nothing of that.
We got to pay taxes for some airspace that we don't even occupy. I barely got a car that stays off of E, but you want to tax me for some air. You want to tax me for some air that I ain't even occupying it right now.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Stay
Right?
Con.
What was that man that just died?
What man that just
Oh,
died?
yeah.
On what his name?
Yeah. I forget the
First
name.
when he was the first one went into space. Something.
The first one to witness space.
Yeah, it was an astronaut that just passed away.
Oh, was he old or?
Yeah, he's old. I forget his name though. But
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying?
Con.
You see what the script. Forget what I'm saying. Do you see what the scriptures are saying?
Oh, jeez.
Come on, man. That who else is planting their nest amongst the stars?
Con.
Okay, well I didn't go up there personally, but I'm gonna throw a bunch of my stuff up there and say I did and say that's mine. Who does that? What nation in the world does that? Oh, you want to say Koreans did it? You want to say Russia did it? No. You remember the space age race? America was the first one to do it. So as the where were you at? For 4.
As though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
But the Most High said, I got something real for your butt in these hands. That's what he said. Even though you lift yourself up and you try to look me in my eye, guess what? I'm going to knock you back down. I'm going to knock you back on your pockets. That's what he's saying. Was that it?
Con.
All right, go ahead. Go back to,
This is Daniel chapter 7
uh-huh.
and verse 7, last precept. For all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Okay, so the 10 horns. The 10 horns, that represented the 10 tributaries. The 10 tributaries. Tributaries. I will spell it again. Tributaries. Tributaries. All right. The 10 tributaries. But today, in present day, it would be Eastern Europe. I'm sorry. It'd be European Economic Community. These are the kingdoms that support this beast.
Like the UN almost.
They do that monetary resourcefully through all these different avenues to support this beast, which is America.
Con.
Military, monetary,
Dang.
and resourcefully.
Con.
All right. You get that? So like let's say America wanted to go to war against somebody, right? But then they didn't want to go to war with America to another country, right?
Con.
But they'll supply the bullets, they'll supply the weapons, they'll supply the gear. You see that? That's a tributary. They're giving means to supply. Alright?
Con.
Alright? That support this Edomite, the so-called white people. Go to Revelations chapter 17. Hit me with that Revelations chapter 17, verse 12. Chapter 17, verse 12.
Con. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings.
So these are 10 kingdoms, right? 12 kings with the 10 kingdoms, right? Go ahead.
Which have received no kingdom as yet.
So they didn't get any part of America. They can't claim America, right?
Con.
Go ahead.
But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Okay, continue.
These have one mind.
Because these are the ones, they're in this, it said they're one mind because they support that beast.
Con.
They support that democracy. They're in cahoots. So, so basically, it's like going around game banging. You know what I mean? You're trying to convert them over to your ways.
Con.
And if they're like, let's say like, if they're like a Muslim country, right, and they don't have democracy, they cause havoc for it, right? Then they get other nations and look, these people are unruly. They need to be like us. You know what I mean?
Con.
We need to help these women be free. We need to help the Muslim women that follow the customs of what they were taught. We gotta help them be free of that. We gotta help these kids. We gotta have them take off their head wraps, right? The hijabis. We gotta have them cut their hair. We gotta have them tighten up their clothes. The clothes is too loose. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to see that firm body. You gotta have democracy. That's what they're saying. That's what they do.
Con.
They come in and ruin a good thing. And then they find other nations that's in cahoots with them, and then they go and walk around bullying other countries. And they create these wars. You see that?
Con.
Go ahead.
And shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
So whatever they have, whatever resources they can help them out with, they give that power and that strength. And what was the three I said? Monetary, military,
resourceful.
and resourcefully. You wrote that down? You writing that down?
Oh,
Con.
All right.
What was the third one?
Resourceful.
Resourceful.
Resourcefulness.
What did those three things represent again?
it was America. I know that
They're
tributaries.
tributaries, right? Read verse 12 again.
Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings,
So these are the 10 kingdoms, right? Go ahead.
which have received no kingdom as yet,
Continue.
but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
So they're trying to, it's like basically they share the same power, but in actuality they really don't. Right? I puffed you up to make you believe that you're on the same level with me, but you're really not. What you are is a tributary to me. Because when you don't join in like North Korea, what are you considered?
An enemy.
An enemy. I want to create a tumult because you're not rolling with me. I got to say something against you. Now I got to call you a terrorist state, and I got to go grab my homies, and I got to be like, listen, you see this cat over here? You know what I mean? He ain't trying to roll with me. He ain't trying to roll with us. Look at the way they living. Look at their women. Look at their children. Look at their country. They ain't got no dictator, no democracy about them. They ain't got no good ethics. Why is her head covered up? Why is her skirt so long? She need to be free. These women need to be free. These children need to be free. You see that? Go verse 13.
Verse 13. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
So it said they have one mind. So these people who are rolling with America, they have the same mind.
Right.
You know what? They don't have the democracy. You know what? They don't have a Senate. You know what? I see what you're talking about. That's the same mind.
Right.
Can two walk together? At least they be agreed, right? At least they agree, right? So they're trying to do that in wickedness. You see that? So they're all of one mind. Continue.
Verse 14.
No, verse 13.
Verse 13. And shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
So whatever they need to do to help their partner, that's what they do. That's what those three represent. Whatever I got, I'm gonna help support you. You know what? I'm not fully for it, but listen, I got some extra ends I can kick down to you, so you can take care of what you're trying to do. That's still being in cahoots. That's like saying you want to go kill somebody, and you want me to go with you to kill him, but I'm like, nah, I ain't no murderer, but I still give you the gun. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you some bullets to go with the gun. That's being in one mind. Regardless, if I didn't pull the trigger, I gave you the gun to pull the trigger. Cahoots. So that's what those 10 tributaries are. All right. You got that, Sister Mary? Huh?
Same again. The three.
Military, monetary, you good? All right, where we at?
This is Revelation chapter. You want to go back to Daniel?
No, go back to Daniel's, yeah.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 8.
All right, so let's recap. Yes, ma'am.
So I have a question, because when you said 10 tributaries, I thought it was like gonna actually be like 10 things.
There's a list.
Oh, there's a, okay.
Like, have you typed? You could type in. Like I said, this is historical.
Fine.
Like when you Google EEC, right?
Right?
It'll show you who they are.
Okay.
They changed them from like 10 to 12. So it varies right now. It varies from 10 to 12 or 11, or who's basically with the same mind state, right?
Fine.
But in the ancient days, that we call them tributaries, right?
Fine.
It says like here, it gave you a list. Europe. It said Europe. Members from Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, West Germany. You see that?
Fine.
And that was in 1957. So it's always changing, but the point is that there's always tributaries. You see what I'm saying? That these other kingdoms are always they're always in cahoots with it. Here, give me Psalms chapter 82. Check this out. Psalms chapter 82.
Psalms chapter 82.
Okay, give me a comment when you get it. Oh yeah, 83. That's what it is. Good looking.
Psalm chapter 83, verse
1.
verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
They make a what?
A tumult.
Those enemies are the ones who are they're with America and they're against Israel. They're against the Most High. You understand? It says a tumult. A tumult is defined as a trouble. That's what a tumult is. All right? Go ahead. He says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult. Read.
And they that hate thee have lifted up thy head.
So it said, those who hate thee, those who hate the Most High, they lifted up their head. They got prideful as hell.
Come.
Think about it. Who else puts their nest in? We just read it in Obadiah. You don't think that's a prideful act?
Fine.
The eagle is landed. You place your nest with the stars.
Huh?
You trying to say you live there. You own that. You run that.
Yes,
You see that? Those who hate the Most High lifted up the head. They're showing, listen, I don't need the Most High. I got this. What's America's motto? Proud to what? Proud to be an American.
Okay.
That P word. Yeah. But pride doesn't get you into the kingdom, does it? But they thrive off of being what?
Pride.
Prideful. Proud as hell.
Don't trade on me.
Right? This America, boy.
Right.
You lost your nerve, boy. This America. You better be proud.
Right.
I'm proud to acknowledge my Second Amendment. Come on, man. Those are the people that lifted up their head.
Come.
Read.
Come. For lo, thy enemies have taken a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up thy head. They have taken crafty counsel.
They have what?
They have taken crafty counsel.
Crafty counsel. What did we just read in Daniel's chapter 8 and verse 25?
About the policies.
About their crafty, they cause craft to prosper. Right?
Come.
They take crafty. All these nations you're about to see, not just these, but the ones we read, and then the ones that are in this Bible, they're joining in with America.
Come.
They're the ones of one mind. And when you go through history, you understand about when Israel went into slavery, right? Down in the Ivory Coast, right? Africans and the Arabs with Esau sold us into slavery. They're in cahoots. You see that? Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So their whole agenda is what?
Cutting us off from being a nation.
To cut us off from being a nation. You don't think that's prideful as hell? You understand who the Most High's chosen people are? So you've gotten it inside of your thick cranium to go complete polar opposite?
Right.
You know what? That's your favorite people? Hey, you with me? Let's revolt. Let's make these niggas of none effect. Let's put these guys in the ground. You don't think that's prideful as hell? Because the wicked know who the rulers of this world is supposed to be, right? The power was given to them because of our disobedience. Let's not get that misconstrued, right? So they understood, but they're intentionally doing this. That's what they're doing. Go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel.
That the name of who?
That the name of Israel.
That the name of. Hold up, wait a minute. But the Israel, they're still there, right?
No.
They're not, because those aren't the real Israelites. This is what the people have been trying to do. The average black man doesn't know he's an Israelite. That's how they started there, and then they keep doing it more and more each generation. Till the Most High comes back and boom, I'm done. I'm tired of this. This is the crafty policy, the crafty act, right? That the name of Israel, read,
may be no more in remembrance.
That was their whole goal, and all they do is they try to get the EEC or the 10 tributaries to be in coordinates, in cahoots with them. That's what they're trying to do. That the name of Israel is no longer in remembrance. Listen, I don't like these niggas. Are you with me? Oh, okay. You don't want to run the same way I run. You know what? These guys are terrorists. You're with me, right? Those guys are terrorists. Those guys are niggas and terrorists. Right? Let's get rid of them, and then we definitely got to get rid of them. That's their agenda. That's what the 10 tributaries of being in that one mind are. Read. Verse 5.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They all got together with what?
with one consent.
5 consents?
One consent.
How many minds?
One consent.
One agreement, one agenda. So the 10 tributaries, they all agree together as one. They all have the same mind, the same goal. You see that? Go ahead.
They are confederate.
They are
against
what?
Confederate.
Who was the ones who formed a what? In the Revolutionary War, or the what was it? The North against the South, the Civil War. They formed a what?
Confederacy.
A confederacy. Who's known for forming a confederacy? America. So it's showing you who's the conductor of this wicked train. Read.
Against thee, the tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of who?
Of Edom.
So it's the house of who?
Edom.
The house. So when it all started, when the Grecians started in 333 BC, till today. So it's always been the main house of who?
Edom.
Of Esau. Ever since he got into power, he hasn't stopped wanting to be in power. And then he got prideful as hell because he stayed in power. Go ahead, continue.
And the Edomites, and Moab, and the Hagarenes.
The who?
The Hagarenes. Verse 7. Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, and the Philistines.
Go to Habakkuk. So right here, it was just showing you. It said the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, and of Moab, and of the Hagarites, Gabal, Ammon, Amalekites, Philistines, the children with the inhabitants of Tyre, right? All these nations are the ones in cahoots, in coordinates, in a constructive form to get rid of the Most High's chosen people. These are the 10. Not even just this list, but even more. These are the tributaries. And if you're not one this year, then you get branded or labeled as a terrorist, and then killed off, and then they find somebody else to be a tributary. And then if you want to be one, then you guys meet every single year at a location, right? Jack off in a coffin, tell ghost stories, eat babies, right? Rub fecal matter on each other. You know what I'm saying? Crouching tiger, hidden dragon, whatever. You start doing all this nasty stuff to show that you're down with it, right? Playing Eiffel Tower with 2 men. Come on, stop. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Ye also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man.
Who's this proud man? Keep showing you one word. Pride. Proud. What does it mean to transgress by wine?
He overindulged.
Meaning, like wine, he puts everybody in that under the influence. You get inebriated. You get inebriated in his democracy, in his penis code, right? In his body of ruling demons. That's how you get inebriated. Like wine, same effect. Come on, because you want to be good to a woman, right? You gotta be good for the women, right? You gotta be good for the kids. Trick Daddy love the kids, right? Bro, so that's what he plays off of. He plays off. Come on, a man wants to come home to a nice woman, good kids, right? So he's gonna play off of that. He's gonna divide a house and show you, look, we gotta give these women, where you at?
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5.
So there's basically saying that yeah, we're gonna give these women rights. We're gonna divide the household. We're gonna set these families apart, and we're gonna be the rulers of that house. We're gonna be the rulers of these women, of these children, not you, who's over here dwelling peacefully, minding your own business.
Right.
I'm coming to meddle in your affairs and tell you wrong. This my house. What's that over there? I don't know, but it's mine anyway.
Right.
That's what they do.
My coolest.
You're at chapter 2 and verse 5?
Habakkuk.
Yeah, Habakkuk, okay. So, yea, also because you transgressed by wine, right? Read.
He is a proud man.
He's a
Proud man.
They got that tattooed forever. The same way they say stay sucker free, they stay proud as hell. Same damn way. Read.
Neither keepeth at home.
Who's always being a goddamn busybody? Who's always out in the streets besides niggas and hoes? Who's always up in somebody's affair? Esau. Come on, you're all the way in another country, and then you take a boat and you just coincidentally stumble up on a landmass inhabited by other people,
Right.
other individuals. No. It might have. How did they end up in Iraq?
Oh, weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, weapons of mass destruction.
Assumptions.
You know what? We're just gonna search the place and just make sure everything's clean, everything's copacetic, and we gonna just be out your hair. How? Yeah, Hussein, Saddam Hussein.
Who's about Gaddafi?
No,
Saddam Hussein.
yeah, Saddam. What? Say his name again?
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein, right? He all bombed up. Who is it? Who else was there?
Muammar Gaddafi.
Gaddafi. All these cats blown up. Why? I'm in your house, checking to see what's in your refrigerator, and then I shoot you. Does that make sense? Does that make that? And that's what America promotes. That's what they do. They run around the world. I don't know what this is, but I'm pissing on it anyways.
Right.
Like he said in Hustle and Flow, like a dog, just you know what I mean, peeing on things.
Right.
Always, he never keeps at home. Hey, let's go and see what's in the ocean. Let's go down as far as we can, destroy everything, and then bring that up and eat it. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna put my mouth on it. Right? Hey, let's go out in the forest. Hey, what's that animal right there? I don't know what it is. Let's kill it and eat it. What other country in the world does that? What other nation of people do that? There's only one. The only one. You know who that one is. Right? There it is. So he never keepeth at home. What else?
Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
So, dang it, he does. Read that precept again, dang it.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
Come on, man. He's never satisfied. Always wanting more. Never enough. And you see, you know how it said at the beginning, it said because he transgressed by the wine. What's the typical black man's mindset? I gotta get this what?
Money.
I gotta get this what?
Money.
I gotta get this money. I gotta get this paper. I gotta get this hustle. I gotta do this. Why are we always on this hustle? Why are we on this paper chase? Because we got inebriated, we got intoxicated, we got mind screwed to believe that we gotta do the same thing. Oh son, I gotta be out in the streets. The streets, oh, I'm in love with the streets. They calling me. No. When you read about our history, it said Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Right.
We kicked it, right? We was kicking it all the time. But now, what are we doing? We trying to be like our captives. We got the Uncle Tom syndrome, Stockholm syndrome, and now we want to be like him. We want to dress like him. We want to be up in everybody's affairs. We got to be every Tom, Dick, and Harry just like them. We got to get mentally screwed in our mind to believe that we're wrong and they're right. And we gotta die fighting for it.
Right.
You hold up a picture of Christ being white. The black man will stand up quicker than the white man will and tell you that's his Lord and Savior. Why?
Wait.
Because it's that bred in the mind. That's transgressed by the wine. That's inebriation on the high level, minuscule, all the way down to the damn near DNA, to the subatomic atom, right? But this is showing you this is the one that never keeps at home, and what nation of people this is. Esau, right? Started 333 BC, all the way till now, right? Go ahead.
And is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
And he's never satisfied. Goddamn greedy. That's a gluttonous. He wants country after country. He wants resource after resource. He's never satisfied.
Right.
Too much ain't enough. It's never enough. But everything he puts his hand to, what happens to it? It gets destroyed. Everything he wants to claim for his own ends up backfiring. It dies. It never lasts. Listen, they said Iraq was worse than it originated, and then it started out on.
Oh, aftermath?
Yeah, the aftermath. Why? Who wants to go to a country where you got? They used to say it looked like Beirut because Beirut was where they did a lot of shooting and stuff, right? Now you got Iraq looking like Beirut.
Saddam had it in order.
He had it in order, but because he had his people in order, and because he was in order, they were like, "Hold up, that nigga riding too clean.
Right.
Got to drop a dime on that nigga right there." And that's what they felt they needed to do. Why? Because he doesn't like to keep at home. He gets restless, always out in the field, just like their forefather Esau. Covering yourself with deer piss, waiting up in a tree, lurking, waiting for something to walk across your crosshairs so you could spark it up, so you could kill it. It's horrible. Go back to Daniel, man.
This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 8.
Hang on 1 second. Let me get back to it. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 8.
I considered the horns and beheld.
Okay, so the horns, all right, the horns represent the power. The horns represent that power. All right. All right, go ahead.
And beheld, there came up among them another little horn.
Another what?
Little horn.
That little horn. That's Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus. Antiochus.
One more time, sir.
Antiochus. Antiochus. Epiphanes. 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 Or in other words, America. America.
Oh, yes, they named it after. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They named it after.
Yahtzee. America. I get writer's block sometimes. You be writing so fast, shit. How you spell the? Yeah, it happens. Yeah. So they named it. Yeah. There it is. So that's who that little horn is. America. Antiochus Epiphanes. All right. Go ahead. Continue reading.
Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up
Okay.
by the
What?
roots.
It was what?
Plucked up by the roots.
Okay. So the three of the first plucked up, right? That was when Antiochus had to go to war against Ptolemy, right? He went to war against Ptolemy, Cassander, and Lysimachus. Yeah. All right. So you would call this basically internal warfare. You see that?
Con.
Because he comes out of their line, right? So that's internal warfare. This is Esau against Esau. Yeah. Just like today. Like the Germans. Come on, man. Germans, most of those Edomites, right? A lot of them Israelis, Edomites, right? So it's an internal warfare.
Who did you go to war against again, please?
Ptolemy,
Sir.
Cassander, and Amicus. Lysimachus.
Spell those?
Oh,
I got it.
Ptolemy, Cassander.
Both of them he went to war against?
No, who they went to war against?
Yes, sir.
Ptolemy. Who were the 4 generals of the 4 realms? Give me 3 of them. Ptolemy, Cassander, Lysimachus.
Oh, okay. From the Greeks.
Because he came through the Seleucus line. You see that?
Fine.
Yeah, Antiochus Epiphanes came through the Seleucus line.
Okay, so they just.
Yeah, he came through that line. Lysimachus. So he came up and he started getting greedy, and now he's greedy gobbling everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he started an internal war. That's just like a beast. They don't respect their own. They go and piss on their own, right? It's horrible. I mean, think about it. Look at it today. They send you over, go fight their wars, right? They send Esau over to go fight their wars because they're the best, their own best soldiers, right? But then why the majority of them under the bridge? Why you see so many dirty, scrubby Edomites begging for change now? Because they did their own people like that. Because they don't care about their own damn people. Yeah. Antiochus Epiphanes, no damn different. Same cats that he grew up with, that he supped with, right? Now he trying to take over their boundaries. Backstabbing, don't even care. Second nature to him. Yeah. Continue.
Con. Before, this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 8.
Oh, okay. Let me finish. So the Antiochus was going to war against Ptolemy, Cassander, Lysimachus, for their realms to come, realms to come into power. All right. So basically, America. Now you want to take this. Now that was in the past, right? So let's flash. Let's flash forward to what, the middle, right? The present, right? That's America had their war against Britain and the French and the Spanish to establish their power. Did they not? Which was all Edomites. You see that? Antiochus Epiphanes did it, and then through his line came who? America. America's trying to get established. They trying to beef with Britain. They fought against Britain. They fought against the French. They fought against the Spanish. Why? Because they want to establish their power. They got tired and they lifted up their head. They decided not to keep at home. All right. See, so you have one during the Greek time, then you have one during modern time. And you know what's funny? Even though this is biblical, right? This is still in their history. So that's how you know the scriptures is real. You can't get around what happened in history. You want to sugarcoat it and you want to play it off as like a fairy tale because it's in this book, but then it's in history. There's artifacts. Other people wrote books about what happened. But let the Most High be true and every man alive. The Most High, he had said it first. And this was before it even happened. You see that? Okay. Go ahead.
Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones.
Hang on. So let's backtrack a little bit. All right. So the little horn represented who?
America. Antiochus Epiphanes.
Antiochus Epiphanes. Right. And who did he wage war against in the Greek during the Greek times? Who?
Was it Ptolemy and Shemeshius?
The same generals over the realms. Ptolemy, Cassander, and Lysimachus. All right. In order to get full control, to get full power, he had to go against them. He had to kill them. He had to war with them. Just like for America to claim their so-called independence, right, from Britain, what did they do? They had to go to war with Britain, right? They fought against the French. They fought against the Spanish, right? So the 3 little horns, the prosperity of the remaining 3 Greek generals, Cassander, Lysimachus, and Ptolemy, right? Go to Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 8.
Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 8.
So because he's telling the same story, he's telling the same dream again. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 8. A land of wheat and barley.
No, not Deuteronomy. Daniel's chapter 8 and verse 8. I'm sorry. I said Deuteronomy? My bad.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 8. Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken. And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
So those are the ones going into power, right?
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. And out of one of them came forth a little horn.
So what was that little horn?
America.
America who?
Antiochus
Antiochus Epiphanes. Okay. Go ahead.
Which waxed exceedingly great.
Why did he wax exceedingly great? Because he overthrew the three generals. Okay. He took their power. All right. Go ahead.
Toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. Verse 10.
No, that's it on that. All right. So that little horn was America, right? And the three little horns. So during America times. In ancient times, it was Antiochus Epiphanes. All right. In modern time, it represents America, right? But it's all the same people. This is the prophecy of the kingdom. All right. So in America times, you had the independence from Britain, right? That's one war. You had the Spanish-American War, right? Then you had the French-American War. And they had to do that to establish their greatness. Yeah? Huh? Yeah. You writing it down though, right? Yeah. I mean, we're in no race. I really want this to sink in. This has really got to sink in. All right, so what we'll do, so we're going to pause this right here. We're going to pause this right here, and we're going to finish the rest of this Daniel's breakdown for the next class. All right? That way we don't get into something really, really juicy, and then you got to get it cut off. Like, oh, but hold up, I wanted to know. Huh? Oh yeah, it's fire. Spit hot fire. Dylon. Yeah, but no, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. But like I said, there's a lot, and that's why it's so beautiful. That's why the scriptures are so beautiful, because it's showing you everything that was foretold, and then you see it through history, how it came to be. So you know that the future that the Bible speaks of is going to come. That's why you got to make sure you get your butt in order. You know what I mean? If he did it with a kingdom, how much more an individual? Right? But what we're going to do is I'm going to answer up any other questions that we might have. Do we have any questions, sis? Huh? Blah. All right. Hey. But listen, I'm just going to re-edify to let you know that Hanukkah, right? Hanukkah we got coming up on the 24th, and it's all the way into the 1st. And if you feel you want to be a part of it, please come on down. The more the merrier, all right? Please stop on by. Disclose our class days. If you want to donate books, pens, pencils, papers, it's always being put to good use. And thank you for the donations that you have given, as far as the books, pens, and pencils and stuff like that. And anything else? La? Okay. Again, we're going to pick up on the rest of Daniel's chapter 7 next class. All right. And with that, we'd like. What's up?
I'm sorry. What was the last verse for Daniel that we left off at?
Verse 8.
Verse 8.
Yeah. Daniel's chapter 7 and verse 8. All right? And with that, we would like to say shalom.
Shalom.